Hello and welcome back to Downtime Activities, and welcome back to our single-player Edge of the Empire game with Riden, the Shistavanin bounty hunter, out and about, going on another bounty hunting job, hunting down a Gotal by the name of Grogos Chatza, who's apparently being moved from one Imperial compound to another. They want him alive and in decent enough health that they can question him. And you know that he is going to be leaving from a prison that is on a moon orbiting Onderon.
Before I leave the planet I'm on, I'd kind of like to find a doctor or medical droid.
You could probably find that.
I could probably afford to have my leg cut off and replaced, but I would rather keep it.
You'd rather keep your natural leg. It's a pretty ugly, gnarly wound. Disruptor rifles are like definitely Geneva Convention defiling.
They are like extremely illegal, from what I understand.
They are no good. But without any check or anything like that, you can find a reasonably reputable medical facility on board this planet. It's a smuggling planet, so it's the medical droids there are probably stolen, but they seem to work.
That's all one can ask.
So what exactly are you trying to do with it?
I am trying to get the wound critical injury dealt with. The Stimpak that I used recovered quite a few of my wounds.
Okay.
So it's pretty much just the critical injury that, really needs to be dealt with.
Tanks are on from here. Healed via medicine check. So you're not wanting to, waste time and spend time in a back to tank, I assume.
No. I'd like it just... Yeah, probably just taking care of a medicine check.
He will attempt one. So the difficulty is hard for your wound, right?
Mm-hmm.
3 purples, but this is literally a droid built to do this. And I don't know what a reasonable cost for medical attention like this is. Does it have anything in the book about what that should cost?
I don't think it does.
I mean, for this, I thought he's going to do... We'll say 500 credits. Alright. He did solid. Threat, I don't think it really affects these. Advantages or threats.
I don't think so, unless you decide you want it to.
So for the sake of this, he does have Surgeon 1, so you get 1 additional wound when healed via the medicine check. So it will heal 5 wounds total. As well as heal that injury will no longer affect you. Also, he has a synth flesh applicator built in. So basically, on that right thigh, you're going to have a bald spot because it burned away all the hair and stuff on the leg there. So you have a synthetic flesh overlay on top of that will grow back over time with your natural hair color, but it's currently a bald spot on you.
Yeah, it'll be covered by my pants anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So unless somebody sees me naked, it shouldn't be a problem. If somebody sees me naked, there's lots of other problems going on.
Or some things have gone very right. If recent events in other unrelated games have taught me anything, it's ending up naked in a RPG campaign only ends good.
It's gone fine for plenty of characters. It's gone bad for some others. It's gone real bad for some.
Hey, I'd say overall it went great. For how stupid of a situation somebody got themselves into to have survived it, pretty damn lucky. Devils of the West, check it out. So back to the front, back to flying out there. You are on the move, heading towards Onderon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. No more attempts on your life in the process. You're able to leave.
I would my intention is kind of to take advantage of the fact that I have the night shadow cutting and that my sensors, I've got the short range sensors, to try and float in that middle ground.
Okay.
Where, I can pick stuff up at the edge of my sensors, but I'll be too far out for, in theory, other ships to pick me up.
All right.
And kind of monitor if there's any traffic coming and going anyway. And just kind of keep a lookout for like an Imperial shuttle or prison transport or customs frigate or something like that that tries to leave the planet around the time that a ship is supposed to leave that moon.
All right. Go ahead and give me a piloting planetary. We'll call it average.
Piloting planetary?
Or excuse me, space. I don't know why I said planetary. In space. That don't make any sense.
Planets in space. What difficulty?
Average. Just for how good you're doing it.
One failure, one advantage.
Okay. You kind of hover around at this time, I guess. For the sake of this, the advantage will be that you have some ships kind of coming and going, and you feel like you're having a hard time gauging the distance. You're still kind of learning when people will be able to pick you up. And there's a couple of like close calls isn't really the right word. It's like civilian vessels that seem like notice you and seem to intentionally like avoid your ship as you're kind of trying to like narrow it in. One of these ships though that comes through that you kind of accidentally brace into their sensor range and they pick up is an Imperial shuttle heading from the direction of that moon in the correct direction that you're meaning to seek. That very much probably is from that facility at the very least. You don't know if he'd be on board it, but it is the right timing and is the right kind of ship. But they do seem to kind of pick you up on their scanners and hail your ship.
Well, I'm going to be completely incapable of talking my way out of this, so my plan is kind of to close the distance and use light tractor beam. Okay.
For the sake of this, you can... It's kind of up to you. You have a second person in your cockpit. Mm-hmm. Your co-pilot is definitely able to assist in stuff, and you can use him how you see fit. You can do like one maneuver and one action, similar to other combat stuff. Mm-hmm. And he can assist in doing like... He could do gunnery checks and stuff as well, since he's up in the front and is a co-pilot with you. Excuse me. He can't steer the ship at all, but if you wanted him to use one of your weapons, just for the sake of things probably kicking off here, he would be able to assist. I'm assuming you're probably better for you just moving in to close the distance and doing trying to grab him with the tractor beam. That's probably going to be just better for you to do first, but as things start going, it's just...
Right. Is using the tractor beam a like gunnery check, or...
I believe so. You use gunnery and then you hit, and then if you hit, they are in the tractor beam and they have to make the piloting space check with a difficulty equal to the tractor quality of the weapon.
Okay.
So moving in, basically you're going to be using your maneuver this round to fly. Mm-hmm. And as a ship, your speed is 4, correct? Or is it 5? 5. So yeah, you can spend one maneuver to move within close range, to move from close to medium, or from medium to close range. So you're at the fastest speed, so they get within short, right? And then it's close. So you can move from medium and close. You could make that range, so you could definitely close this distance very quickly compared to their ship that was just a kind of leisurely speed on its way to a hyperspace lane. And then go ahead and make the check. It'll be an average difficulty. This ship is the same silhouette as you.
Okay. That is gunnery, which I do not have any ranks in, but...
It's kind of like a aggressor class fighter. Transmit your purpose in this place.
2 success, 1 threat.
Moving in very suddenly, and then also aggressor class fighter. Cease and desist immediately. As you move in and your tractor beam grabs hold of this Lambda class shuttle, and with that, we'll go ahead. You roll some vigilance, and I roll. No, you roll cool, and I roll vigilance. Which one's the one for being surprised?
Damned if I know.
Cool is if you're not surprised. Vigilance is if you are. I may mix that. I've mixed that up multiple times.
Cool might be. I think cool's for being surprised.
Cool when ready. Vigilance unexpected. I found it. Okay, so you will roll a cool. They will roll a vigilance. I got 2 success, 1 advantage.
2 success, 2 advantage.
You're first. As your tractor beam kind of trapped, you can see the thrusters start to kick up on the ship, but you have them held at the moment.
Then we stopped. I mean, we're technically just kind of reeling them in, but I can also use ion weapons to disable their vehicle.
Correct.
So, let's shoot some with, or try and shoot some with medium twin ion. So it's just one gunner. It's just how exactly does the linked thing work?
I believe that has to do with spending advantages to do. Spend 2 advantage on a successful hit. So for each.
Oh, it's like having a weapon in your offhand. You can spend
2 advantage on a successful attack to hit the same target again for the same damage.
Okay, so it just starts as a.
Yours is linked to 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like dual. So basically, you could spend 2 advantage to hit an additional attack.
Okay, so it's just a average gunnery check.
Mm-hmm.
One threat.
Okay.
That's it.
Is there a spending threat and stuff in ship combat table?
There is, I believe, but it's a little.
A cheat sheet up here for ship combat.
It's a little less. I mean, it's for the most part, it's the same. It's some of the same stuff. For one threat, they can. If piloting a ship, sudden maneuvers force the ship to slow down by 1 speed. The active character loses the benefits of a prior maneuver, such as executing evasive maneuvers or aim. Or the character's active ship or vehicle suffers 1 system strain.
So take a system strain. And Skull will move to. You have 2 fore and 2 aft shields. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. 2 fore and 1 aft.
2 fore and 1 aft. I don't know if he can do this. A crew member with axe. Oh shit! Technically, you had 2. They didn't have their shields on at the moment because they didn't expect to get attacked. Now they're turning their shields on. Forget they have shields too. They're after only 1. You can reassign the shields.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like the angle deflector shields can reassign up to 1 point of defense from one zone to another. So Skull will go ahead and use his maneuver to angle deflector shields, and he'll assign from your back to your front, basically, to give you additional defense on the
3, 4.
Yep. Just to help ensure that you don't get got by these people, and you can't fire because unless you want him to use your non-ion weapon on them on the front. For the sake of story reason, we'll say that he's kind of maintaining the tractor beam. And then it'll be the Lambda class shuttle. And you can see they do have a aft retractable, twin light blaster cannon that comes out. It seems like a smaller blaster, but the barrels of it come out, and it's going to take aim and fire at you. Back there.
Because shields work like essentially points of defense, right? Where it adds setback dice.
Setback dice. 1 failure, but 2 advantages. It does not get through your shields. What can I spend 1 advantage on from that table?
An excellent question.
Or 2 advantages, excuse me.
2 advantage. Perform an immediate free maneuver. Add a setback die to the targeted character's next piloting or gunnery check, or add blue to any allied character's next piloting, gunnery, computers, or mechanics check.
They're going to add a blue to the gunnery check, or the piloting check of the pilot to try and slip out of your tractor beam. Which is tractor 2.
Yep.
Correct? 1 threat. He still fails. They try to like punch it, and the tractor beam keeps this shuttle kind of locked in place. And then they'll boot up the shields, and they won't. I guess, as a maneuver, they'll also angle deflector shields, and so you'll have 3 back at you.
Okay.
Because they have 2 front, 2 back, and they'll reassign 1 from front to back. And then you're up. Oh, excuse me, you have 1 back, so it'll be 2. They assign 1 from front to back. Your turn. They are not. You're basically like able to maintain speed, and like you can stop even if you want in space. They're currently locked in place unless
I will.
They can break free.
Going through the maneuvers list, I will do the stay on target maneuver.
Okay.
Which just upgrades. Upgrades my combat checks against this vehicle by 1.
But then they also get an upgrade back, right?
Well, all other, like this one doesn't, but all other threats would, and I would have. Targeting a ship, executing a search maneuver. No, they know. It does say any combat checks.
Okay. So it's just they get to upgrade once on the way back at you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if there were other ships around, it would matter more. But
stay on target.
3 setback.
2.
2.
They had 1 aft, and they angled to have 2 aft.
1 advantage. Idiot fight. Ho.
The shields are holding.
I guess. I mean, it doesn't really matter because Skull's not making gunnery checks. His gunnery's probably better than mine, though. Does he have any ranks of gunnery?
He's quite good at gun. He's got 2 ranks in gunnery, but he only has 2 agility, so it's 2 yellow.
2 yellow is probably better than 3 blue or 3 green. I'll have Skull take over on the ion cannons, and I'll maintain the tractor beam.
All right.
And he can have a blue on his next piloting, gunnery, computers, or mechanics check.
All right. They will fire back at you again with this, and you have 3 points of shield.
Mm-hmm.
And they get to upgrade 1 of these because of your maneuver. A success with 3 advantages. That's because I didn't put any purples in there. I just did that. That's more like... Jeez. All of their good dice didn't do anything. A failure with 4 threats. That would not have taken much for them to be able to hit you because all the bad dice got threats, but they got 2 yellows and a green, all doing nothing. Oof.
Active character grants the enemy a significant advantage in the ongoing encounter, such as drifting straight into his line of fire, decreasing the difficulty of any checks made against it by 1 until the beginning of the next turn.
Okay.
So, till the beginning of their next turn, all the checks against them are going to be easier.
You got it. And they're going to attempt to break free. Burps. Nothing added or taken away. 2 success. So they are able to break free of the tractor beam. And we'll try and do evasive maneuvers. So that will upgrade a purple to a red for all attacks made against it, but also upgrades a purple to a red for all those attacks made by it. Basically the opposite of stay on target. And then it is your turn.
Well, I guess I'll try the deflector shields. I'll do something with the deflector shields. I'll try the tractor beam again.
Okay.
Since if we can just disable them with the ion cannons, it won't matter. Okay, so that goes. So both of the purples go away to be replaced by one red. Is what we're learning here. Until the beginning of their next turn.
Oh yeah, because you did that to them as well. So it takes one of the purples away with the threat you spent.
Yeah, so the attack against them is easier, but they've upgraded that one purple into a red.
Yeah.
Crazy. This is maybe the most complicated. This session might be the most complicated dice rolls we've just about ever had playing this game.
And I mean, we just haven't done a lot of ship combat in this game, and it's interesting. It helps that your ships are just like, no, stay, and it just shoots them in the back. And for the sake of that, like, they're not able to use their main weapons.
Hitting them with the tractor beam. 1 success, 2 advantages, 1 despair.
Okay.
Because
what's despair do? What can I despair you?
How can
I despair?
How can I make you despair? You can do any of the other options. Let's see the new ones. There is actually, interestingly, there is a despair plus a failed check option, which does not apply here. Thank God. The primary weapon system of the active character ship, or the particular weapon system he is manning, if he's acting as a gunner, suffers the effect of the component hit critical. This does not count towards the ship's accumulated critical hits. Upgrade the difficulty of an allied character's next gunnery, piloting, computers, or mechanics checks, including
maybe
the
I'll
current
do that
active character.
first one you said, and so that'll be the tractor beam, is what you're currently using.
I'm blaming Garro for this.
The tractor beam reattaches, but then it has whatever the functionality of that damage does.
Let's take a look.
Faulty Bessalist mechanic nonsense.
Let's say component. The component hit. The component hit critical for that weapon. One component of the attacker's choice is knocked offline and is rendered inoperable until the end of the following round. So the tractor beam is inoperable until the end of the next round.
Okay, so this tractor beam kind of catches him for a second, then sputters and stops.
That son of a bitch Garro's going to get me killed.
How are you spending your advantage? Because you had some advantages.
Oh yeah, I did have a couple of advantage. It's probably just going to be giving Skull another blue. Let's give Skull another blue.
Okay, so 2 black for the shields, 1 red because it's upgraded by the evasive maneuvers, but taken away by your previous thing, one of the purples. 2 yellow for his. I think that should be a correct roll here. Womp. 1 advantage. Take a blue or whatever that can do.
Give me a blue.
Take a blue. And he tries to fire the ion cannons, but they don't pierce the shields either. Then this ship, now that's not trapped with that, is going to, since they're not kind of like stuck to be in front of you, they're going to kind of maneuver around and try and get to where they can fire on you from the front. Not bad. It will be slightly, it doesn't really change the roll, it just changes the damage if they hit. But with their speed, that's fine. They're going to continue to do evasive maneuvers, though. So they will have that more difficult check still. So 1 red, 1 purple. Hitting in the front, it's just going to be 3 shields, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they are doing this. They don't have any blues. Okay. Ooh, a success, 2 threats, and a triumph. As they finally break free, they kind of swoop up and double back, and they're going to hit you for 6 damage before shields.
Before armor?
Or before armor, excuse me.
Okay.
And for the sake of this, we will say... I'm sure you can use Triumph to activate a weapon quality.
You can use a Triumph on anything. So yes, you can activate weapon.
They'll activate weapon quality and they'll hit you again with their linked one. Using their twin-mounted light laser cannon, so it'll be another 6 before armor. But you have 2 threat to spend.
They'll have a setback time next action.
All right. They are going to do some... They're still doing those evasive maneuvers, but then it's back over to you.
Stay on target.
You're breaking up! So this round you're not able to use the tractor beam. It's at the end of this round, right? That it comes back online. Do you want Skull to fire the weapons, or
Skull can fire the ion blasters. I'm just going to take a shot at them with twin laser cannons. I don't think it'll destroy them.
This and this.
And they have 2 shields, right?
Yep. And you gave Skull a blue?
Mm-hmm.
Well then.
That's my sad gunnery check.
Nothing. Well, Skull hit with a 1,000,000 threat, but he hit. What's the damage on that?
On medium ion is 8.
8?
8 system strain.
That's hardy. On your ship? The damage on the ion weapon is 8?
It's a total of 8, right? Because it's the base damage is 6
plus the 2. Okay, yeah. I was like, damn, 8, that seems high. But that's with those...
But it's got a crit of 4.
Wait.
That's 4 threats.
So, they don't have much of that, so that's good. Noted. So, suffer some system strain, but not able to critically damage it or anything. 4 threats to spend. They'll give you a black, give them a blue. I assume that's something I can do.
Mm-hmm. You can do those things.
We'll give the next check against them a black and their next check a blue. That's Skull blasting.
Mine was a flat nothing, so
it'll be back to them. They are going to fire back. 2. They have a blue. They did that, so it's this, and you have that for shields. 2 success, 1 threat. So you have a threat to spend, but that's another bit of damage coming at the ship. I believe that their weapon is 4. It's 5 for the forward mounted. So it'll be 7 damage before the armor value.
Sheesh.
Lambda shuttles aren't a joke.
Yeah, and they're kind of kicking the shit out of us.
The good news is that they have less system strain than they have Voltron threshold. A couple more good hits and you might have a chance.
Well, are you going to survive a couple more good hits?
They're going to continue to do evasive maneuvers, and then it'll be your turn.
Stay on target.
And if you're staying on target, that upgrades. Upgrade. Oh, here, yes. Never mind. You're good. Stay on target, and then you're doing. Are you gonna tractor beam, or are you gonna blaze them?
I'll tractor beam.
Okay.
Try and keep them from doing them evasive maneuvers. Should it work? 1 success, 1 threat, 1 despair.
So they are caught. I won't make it fail this time. That's just mean. They will gain something. I don't know. What's the 3? They gain a extra point of shields or something. Like armor or something or whatever. Anything they can use to upgrade their checks?
Or they decrease the difficulty of checks made against my ship until the beginning of the next turn.
Okay, they'll do that. And your friend is going to go... He doesn't have any blues. That's the difficulty, because it's upgraded once because of their evasive maneuvers. Success, 2 threats, and a triumph. So that'll be another 7. That number. What can we do with a triumph?
Linked. Activate weapon quality.
Let's activate a weapon quality. 7 more. Let's bring it down to that. The ship definitely seems to have systems starting to fail on board. Energy is being depleted. And with that, they have that. They'll spend upgrades. So they're going to try and break free against your tractor quality. But one threat. They do not break out of the tractor beam. And they do hit you again, but this time it is for just 1 success, so 6 before armor. The blasters come in and they're hit the ship again.
Ship does not have ton of armor.
After that, they're going to continue to do evasive maneuvers, and it'll go back to you guys. They are still in the tractor beam. Actually, no, they won't do evasive maneuvers. I'm going to say they can't while they're in the tractor beam. There's no more evasive maneuvers. I mean, just purpose.
Stay on target.
He's breaking up.
Stay on target. We're breaking up.
We're breaking up. Is there any... what are you doing?
I think I'm just I'm just maintaining the tractor beam, and
does it specifically say upgrade the next check with stay on target? Because if you stay on tractor beam, then it would upgrade him instead.
Until the end of the pilot's next turn, all combat checks from the vehicle or vessel executing this maneuver upgrade the ability dice in their pool once.
So you get some additional rings. So I got 2 of those.
So everybody
2 success, 1 advantage, which will be another... Is that 8?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so close. 1 advantage isn't enough to activate linked, unfortunately. The ship is sputtering and dying in front of you. It seems to be hanging on by but a single system strain threshold. With 1 advantage, can he give you a blue?
With 1 advantage, can he force their ship to take 1 more system strain? No.
Damn. That's probably 1 disadvantage from them. You can make him do that. Can he recover anything, like a strain for your guys' ship? No.
No, not for 1.
Can you add a blue to your next check or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
He does that.
Right. But, if they shoot too hard, their ship might just turn off this time. Is right.
Well, they are going to attempt to break free. What is? They're just the 2. You haven't affected them with anything at the moment, right?
Mm-mm.
Okay. What can I do with the triumph, real quick?
Upgrade the difficulty of the targeted character's next piloting or gunnery check. Upgrade any allied character's next piloting, gunnery, computers, or mechanics check. Do something vital to turning the tide of battle, such as destroying a capital ship shield generator or losing a pursuing ship in an asteroid field.
They're going to use it to do one of the different things and try and do a maneuver for free with it. With their 1 success, 1 threat, 1 triumph. They kind of twist around and break free of the tractor beam and try to punch it. And so the ship kind of twists around and goes, and then just kind of starts loosely floating in space.
Because I am absolutely spending that to...
do the last point of system strain.
Yep.
They try to punch it and get out of there, and their ship dies in the attempt. And they are dead in the water in front of it.
Excellent. Now for the part we're much better suited for. Close range combat.
Boarding.
Well,
Let me see that book real quick.
Let's link up. let's link up with this poor vessel that's lost power.
They can't stop you.
Just to make sure that the crew's all right.
Mm-hmm.
We should better get over there and make sure they're all still alive.
I mean,
so we can kill them.
That'd be the kind thing to do, I would think.
Good thing Alucard's not here. He'd probably hail them on the radio. Ask if they're okay. If they would like some tea.
Probably would. Right then, okay. You attach and you're entering in, I assume?
Mm-hmm.
Entering in, we are going to just go ahead and immediately have you roll vigilance. I guess you get to roll vigilance because they're kind of probably cool from everybody because everyone's expecting this to happen. Cool. Everyone rolls cool. These guys aren't very cool. Okay.
What success, 2 advantages?
They got 1 advantage. Skull, I think is what? You're first. Skull second. They're last.
That's always how I felt about the Imperials. They're not cool
very
at
cool.
all.
Yeah, Stormtroopers can be kind of cool looking. Not like a Mandalorian though.
True.
And you enter into the ship, and you can see a Gotal in cuffs, kind of tucked near the front of the ship, like ducked down, looking over his shoulder, and kind of leaning around from all sorts of different angles. What looks like a total of 5 people inside the ship with blasters in their hands.
It's his lucky day. Or is it?
None of them appear. It seems like this is 5 people in like Imperial naval uniforms, like naval troops.
Well, nothing for it but auto fire on one of them.
Okay. One of them. Ideally, you're auto firing on 2 or 3.
That'll upgrade. That'll upgrade that difficulty.
Go ahead and make it a red.
I flip one to make the last one.
You could do.
I could do. Could be fun. But no,
I just need to remember to start using those.
Let's just see what happens. 2 failures, 2 advantages. I should have upgraded it. Because look at it. It did nothing.
It did enough.
And Skull gets a
blue.
A blue.
Nice. A blue. He will blast them. So we have this and this against that. He will not upgrade it because he's not auto firing. He's just using a blaster. Strange light. This is just into the 1. He gets a blue. Success and an advantage. He'll give you a blue. And that is 8, which their shark is 3 and 5 1 threshold. Exactsies. So, and it blasts. And like one of the guys kind of peering around from a chair, she shoots through the chair and the guy falls over dead. And then it'll be them after that. There will be 2 blaster shots coming at each of you. They... Talents. None. Abilities. None. You got nothing.
The minion stat blocks are actually kind of funny to read through.
So he'll give a blue to the next. So one is going to hit you for 7 before soak. 3 advantages.
7 before soak. Huh? Okay. Poor fella. That not a terribly significant hit there.
Last one though is going to be 10 before soak on Skull, which is 4 because he's got a soak of 6. Goes to that. His strain's back. That was from a long time ago. After that, it goes back to you, and you do have a blue.
Excellent.
You get hit once. Skull gets hit once. The other 2 shots miss.
I will aim as well, so I will add 2 blues to this check.
Auto firing again.
Uh-huh.
Reasonably.
And you can't upgrade it, so that goes back down to a purple. I almost just left it as a red.
That's enough.
Okay, so 3 of them take
15. Right?
16 damage.
16 damage. You unload across here, and 3 of them die. Did you say anything to Skull about taking anyone alive in here?
I mean, I'll probably yell at him to take the bounty alive.
Okay.
I should also just probably give Skull standing orders in the future to take anybody in cuffs alive.
Well, he's just going to step in and beat the last one to death with disintegrated brass knuckles.
Who's the real villain here? That or that? The purples did not really show up on that roll there.
I think that this is going to be enough. 6, 7. Oh, just shy of enough. Take a blue on your next check as he just steps in and punches down, and there's this gnarly crack and scream. But that guy has exactly 1 wound left, technically. And after that, it is him. And he is going to desperately try and shoot back at Skull, which will be upgraded to that because he is close range now. That against that. Failure and a threat.
Yeah, no shit.
I'm not gonna. You can spin the threat if you want, but you go ahead and shoot. You got a blue from Skull.
I'll just take this purple off because there's no point in auto firing.
That'll do it.
That's another big old chunk of damage.
It's just like crack. He kind of pulls the blaster up and shoots wide across from him, and then just gets ear-holed by you and goes down dead.
Well, let's grab Grogos here.
He kind of like, Jesus, who sent you?
Just grab him by the collar and start dragging him.
My hero?
I will take my hero. I'll take the we'll take the Imperial binds off of him. We might have to cut him off. We'll take the Imperial binds off of him, and then I'll put the regular my binders on him.
Okay, your regular binders, not your explosive shackles.
Giving him the same speech about these are explosive shackles. This is the last guy who tried to break out of them, and I'll shut and lock the door.
Okay, he's like, who sent you? What? Why? As you head back to the front of your
ship. What a weird day this guy's having.
Very confusing day. I'm saved. What? Why?
Somebody valued me enough to save me. Well,
they valued some part of you. Some of yous.
Hey, I've been hired to actually just get somebody's brain for information. So this guy should he consider himself lucky?
He's gonna get interrogated by a hut instead of sent to an Imperial prison station?
It's kind of a
dealer's choice.
It's kind of a 6 of one, half dozen of the other kind of situation. Yeah, dealer's choice. Yeah.
Are you just leaving this Lambda shuttle? And now that you're on board, you can see that they did send out a distress beacon. Suspect spam caller, be gone.
Spam caller, be gone. Probably destroy it. I don't really have explosives. I mean, I'm definitely not towing it anywhere. Maybe we'll turn off all the deflector shields and just give it a couple blasts from the laser cannons.
Okay.
Before we leave, just try and destroy it, break it up.
All right.
Just get rid of it.
Blow it up. I won't make you roll that. I'd see you have enough time to do that.
And then punch it.
Okay.
Which is a maneuver. We can't actually punch it, but I think we have time to just accelerate normally, so we'll do that. And as soon as the navigation computer is done processing the jump, let's jump back to Teth.
And you're kind of moving away, and you're lining everything up, and you're like, okay, astrogation data is in. Get ready to punch its skull on my mark, and then you hear a whoop behind you, and coming out of hyperspace, you can see what looks like a customs frigate, but then you punch it and accelerate out. And so I think maybe briefly they had eyes on your ship, but apart from that, you're able to get out before they're able to close the distance at all.
Everybody just making enemies left and right.
Aggressor class assault fighters are a dime a dozen. And you punch it out and away.
Maybe they didn't even recognize the ship in time.
It's still a good distance away from them. It's entirely possible.
Some kind of weird, crazy looking ship thing. I don't know.
Probably weird arm things on it. I don't know.
You know those droid fighters? Way back when? It was kind of like that.
Kind of like one
Only not like that at all.
Kind of similar, but totally different.
Well, that actually honestly went worse than I expected it would. The fight inside went exactly like I hoped it would. The ship combat, I should really upgrade my gunnery. Should probably upgrade my piloting too, but I should really upgrade my gunnery. Well, let's go back to Teth and hope I don't get arrested on sight.
Okay. As you're kind of approaching Teth...
I'm also just waiting for a call on my comlink.
As you're approaching Teth, your comlink gets hailed. You get contacted by somebody.
This is one of 3 people. Alikern. Probably not, but I did tell him to call me if he and that he could hire me, essentially.
You gave him the right to pay you to do things.
Yes.
A very generous
exactly.
man, indeed.
I don't give just everybody that. I did that once and do that.
Learned your lesson.
Could be Conharin. You're like, yo, we need some help. In which case, that also wouldn't be great because I'd have to go back to Nar Shaddaa.
True.
Or it's somebody else from Nar Shaddaa, which is sort of what I expect on account of how I've been expecting this call.
The person hailing you says, "This is Vakril, Chief of Security of Gracchus the Hutt. Who am I speaking to?"
You're speaking to Riden, although, to be perfectly honest, I'm sort of surprised that cowardly little smuggler actually followed through on his end of the deal.
He says, "Are you the individual responsible for the break-in at Gracchus's palace?"
I'm the one that broke in, but I wouldn't exactly say I'm the one responsible. I was working as a contractor, taking jobs to make ends meet. People I was working for had a bad habit of picking the wrong fights, which I think you can agree. But they paid well. So, I took a couple of jobs.
Who exactly would that be?
Nebula Syndicate.
No hesitation this time.
I don't have any loyalty to them at all. Mm-mm. They paid well, but I do not work for them anymore.
Nebulous.
Now, as far as I can tell, somebody else hired them. Don't know anything about the guy, didn't get a good look at him. Fancy ship. Type of ship that likes to remain hidden. So.
Is that who possesses these Kyber crystals now?
If you're talking about the box of gemstones, unless he's gotten rid of them somewhere. That was the last I saw of him.
Can you describe the ship?
I don't remember much about it. I mean, I'll
you give an accurate description of what you're...
I'll at least tell him, like I don't want to describe the individual.
Okay.
Because it's like, that guy's responsible, but he's not, like... I feel faintly like he's less responsible than me and the Nebula Syndicate, because, like, this guy knew very specifically what he was after. He has this very specific request for this thing. For all I know, he's the original owner. I mean, knowing Huts.
Fair enough.
But, the Nebula Syndicate are the ones who, up to that point, have been punching, It's
every beehive
it's a freshman running around in high school punching every senior football player he can find in the dick. Mm-hmm. And it's just you know what I mean? It's
how do you keep getting away with this?
I did it. You know what I mean?
Tell everyone it wasn't me.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's that's It's like the Nebula Syndicate's the one who is like seems determined to get somebody to kill them. So like I don't describe the guy, but like I at least tell him like ship has night shadow coating, probably whisper thrust engines, like something like I'll give like the details I can.
Okay.
Like I'm not like I don't even remember all that much about the ship beyond that, but yeah, I'll kind of give what details I can about that.
Okay. Vackrel will say, well, the Nebulas certainly will learn their lesson for this. I appreciate you being forthcoming about all this information. I, for one, understand the fact that a contractor can't always be held responsible for the work that they take. However, I have a hard time believing Gracchus will feel similarly, and I doubt the price will be lifted off your head from him. That being said, the information you've given will certainly help divert some resources.
I just want your boss to understand that I don't really do favors. I don't really owe debts. And if he's sending people after me, he's going to lose people doing so. And sooner or later, it's not going to be worth it for him anymore. I don't have what he's after. I have no idea where it is. Killing me won't change anything.
While that may be true, Gracchus is not one to ignore what he sees as a slight against him. But you cost him enough money, he may just change that too.
Word of advice. Get some aerial defense systems on that tower of yours.
Smart bastard.
I'm on top of the world.
No one can stop me.
Except for me and my bad rolls. That'll stop me every
No
time.
one can stop me like me can stop me.
Off to chat. I feel slightly better about being attacked by other bounty hunters now for some reason. Because at least me and the head of security guy have something of an accord, I guess.
You head on back to Teth. You're able to return back there. Your ship, a little worse for wear, but still functioning enough to get you there.
So I'm probably going to spend a couple of days here repairing the thing.
But upon the collection of Grogos, you are paid 25,000 credits. Seems like whoever wanted him pretty bad. And the fact that he got, as far as they understand, lifted from an Imperial prison meant they were willing to pay.
I did lift him from some Imperials. If they'd known what was coming, they might have just turned him over.
Those five, the Empire at large.
Empire at large, they don't care about.
They don't care
about 5 people.
But yeah. Despite all this loot, he is still just a gank in a suit. I love this because I have all my notes here, and Vackrel is like, Vackrel, Gracchus is chief of security. In parentheses, gank in a suit. Because despite all his loot, he is still just a gank in a suit. As far as repairs, are you trying to do them yourself?
I mean, I can at least start doing them myself.
Okay.
Essentially make it. I assume it'd probably be like a check a day or something like that. Because I do have tools, and I do have that. I do have an upgraded mechanics checks and this solid repair talent now. So I think especially like sort of waiting for my leg to finish healing, spending a couple of days drinking, repairing the ship, and waiting for another contract to come through is not not the worst thing.
Okay.
Obviously, it means I'm just sitting in a nest of bounty hunters for a while.
And you do land, you're able to turn it in, nobody likes it. There he is, get him! People notice you as you come in, but nobody's like, Kubad. There's no Kubaz going, meep.
That's fine. It's probably just the brother of that other Kubaz that I had to hunt down.
He learned his lesson. Same Kubaz.
And I'm also partially just waiting for word on. I didn't write down his name. The Deveronian. Danny DeVito. Danny Deveronian.
His name is, yes. It is Danav Deveronian. Danny Deveronian. Deveronito. Denis Devenerito.
That sounds like you're drunk.
James Bond's having a strong plus hop. The name's Bond. The name's James. Bond James. James Bond Bond James? Bond's John's Bond. James Bond's having a strong hop.
Or, taking the last name for an NPC from my Star Wars campaign, Bondo.
James O. Bond.
James O. Bond. I did have another quest or two set up with Taz.
Old Taz Bondo.
If you guys ever tracked down that dope pilot.
All right. For the sake of this, you'll spend some time doing some repairs. Go ahead and make an average mechanics check. How much not wounds, whatever it's called, hull trauma, do you need to heal?
18.
Okay.
Which is why I'm not expecting to do it all in a day. Average. And it's that now because my mechanic skill has surpassed my intelligence. Which is excellent. One success, one threat, one triumph.
Okay.
And I repair another +1 because of solid repairs. So.
Okay. I think that's more for like repairing in the heat of the moment as well. Isn't it? Because you can make like repair checks in a moment. I'm trying to find...
You have now stolen all rulebooks from me, so I can...
Here's this one. I'm trying to make sure I understand how repair works.
Double check solid repairs here. It just says whenever he repairs a vehicle or starship.
Okay.
Repair +1 hull trauma.
For the sake of this, then, I guess... I don't know if you have to, like, pay for materials and stuff like that. You didn't get critically hit at all. Okay. Also apply additional damage. I'll say that basically, due to your triumph as well as your ability to like get one additional healed for free, you are going to have. I guess it says like basically it's like at my discretion if you have to have other tools or devices to heal your ship. I'm going to say that you have to spend 1,500 credits on raw material to like repair all the damage to the hull of your ship because it's such significant damage. But it would have been more if you weren't as good as you are at repairing as you are.
Everything I find that's wrong, that is not obvious blaster damage, I blame on Garro.
Okay.
And
with the triumph, you do find a couple other little like things it's less of like mistakes and more like corner cutting. Like it's like it could have been done better, but this is good enough and faster and cheaper kind of. It's like not somebody making a mistake. It's somebody intentionally not doing as good of a job as they could because it's easier and cheaper.
Because it's good enough.
Because the enemy of good is perfect.
I would like to complain to Skull or mutter angrily in Skull's direction the whole time about Garro's shoddy craftsmanship and damn near getting me killed twice now.
His response is something along the lines of, Roger, Roger. And it's like, give me the vibro wrench. The vibro wrench! And Skull just having zero mechanics knowledge, attempting... He's a firm set of hands to help hold something down while you solder it into place, but that's about it.
I should give him an integrated tool set and teach him to be mechanics. That way it could be no, that one goes there, that one goes there. Take it out and do it again.
Good stuff.
Is that fully repairing it, or is that...
That'll be back to full. It will take you about a week, though.
Okay, that's fine.
And you're gonna, you probably have to land in town somewhere and do these repairs for a little bit. Like, after you go and drop him off, you go land. Spend about a week doing these repairs, getting stuff kind of back up to snuff, and then if you'd like, you can fly back to the palace at that point.
Mm-hmm. We'll do that.
And you arrive back outside the palace?
I'm also, I think part of me is less... Now that I've had a direct conversation with the gank, it's also just less afraid of people being like, "Wait a second, you're that guy from Nashida." I don't want to talk too much about it, just in case nobody knows. But now that it's word's kind of out, it's I'm a little less worried about running into Talon Murthus.
Mm-hmm.
That still might not go great. Him, I'm pretty sure did not get a good look at me. And the only...
You see, if you ran into Talon Murthus and it was a threat, it would be him hunting you down probably for what you did to the huts, not for what you did personally to him.
Right. He won't be happy if he finds out about that.
And that's it. Not to get behind the screen at all. Talon Murthus. Scary dude. Dude who had the Disrupt Rifle earlier, not as scary as Talon Murthus. Talon Murthus is the name in this neck of the woods over here. As far as
his
bounty
name
hunting.
written down on my character sheet because I was this seems slightly important. I'm going to write it down so I don't forget.
He's the kind of bounty hunter that if you're God, I need this guy tracked down, you would trust to hire.
He did track down that other guy pretty well before I tracked him down and killed him.
Mm-hmm. If he wasn't such an upstanding citizen going to pay for his damages, he might have gotten out of there with him, too.
Yeah, that's the kind of bounty hunter I like. Paying for his damages.
Mm-hmm. He tries to be a decent person. You arrive back at the palace, and you're able to enter in should you choose to.
I will choose to. Hoping I don't just get jumped every time I walk through a door.
It's not the same song.
That kind of took a turn.
It's not the same song, it's a different song. It's the same song, but a slightly different version, because this Cantina band is not that Cantina band, but it's still a Cantina band. And yeah, lively place. People drinking, talking, sharing stories. The usual sort of hangabouts.
I suppose I'll track down Deveronian.
Okay.
If he's around and amenable to a conversation.
You track him down. He's easy enough to find at this point. Good old Pelka Gortoon. A perfect name to say in that voice. Pelka Gortoon. It's all about the tune.
So you really draw out the last name. Should write that one down so I don't forget it. He's been enough of a recurring NPC, I should write it down.
And he kind of takes note of you as you enter in and smiles at you. His toothy grin with those added in teeth. He's like, welcome back. Good work tracking down that Gotal. He, I think probably wishes you didn't, knowing the hut he pissed off, but the information he had was worth a pretty penny.
He seemed pretty confused when I hauled him out of the customs frigate.
I'm sure that was a pretty quick flip going from, hooray, I'm saved to, oh crap, I'm screwed.
It did seem to take a little bit to settle in, but I'm not sure whether the two people I've now picked up because somebody wanted the information in their head. I don't know if the whole body or the brain's having a worse time.
Well, from what you were saying, the The brain, didn't you say it was hopped up on spice?
Yeah.
Might not be feeling much pain.
It still might not know where it is.
Some of that stuff takes a while to come down off of. I've heard from friends. You don't think he's heard from friends. You don't have to roll.
I don't give a shit. I used to run with Spice Runners.
Fair enough. I keep a clear head while I'm here. That's what matters. You looking for work?
Always.
Think I got another job for you, should you be in the market. Pretty sizable one. Good deal more than the one I just sent you on. Little, let's just say higher risk, I suppose. Let's say, Chiss. Goes by the name Fiona Jetton. And she's wanted by some, industrial types.
Sounds like the name of a travel YouTube channel.
Jetton? You're right, I hate it. In my defense, this might have been a randomly generated name, not mine.
We've had this conversation before. Literally no name that the DM comes up with is safe from the players.
Fiona Jet.
The best you can do
It's actually pronounced Jeton.
Okay.
That helps, maybe. Says that wanted by some industrial types for some industrial espionage. Apparently broke into a factory somewhere, stole some schematics or something. Now is hiding out, waiting for the right bidder to come and buy them, and has a small private army making sure they stay safe. Although the word army might be a little strong, not like we're not talking hundreds of soldiers or anything like that, but enough armed individuals to make it unfun to approach them. And this company doesn't want the losses sending their own enforcers after it.
So they'll send somebody else's.
Apparently, whatever it is, though, it's worth a pretty penny. Some sort of ship schematic of something that's still in development.
She puts off Imperials or a private company?
Private. That's why they're paying well.
We both stand there and laugh.
Am I right? Imperials are the worst.
Terrible shots, too. At least those 5 were. Anyway.
Apparently, whoever this lady is, she's pretty well known in certain circles for this kind of business getting done. But pissed off the wrong company this time, and they're willing to pay to see her head roll. No, bring her back alive. They want her dead, and they want the schematic she has brought back. Something about sending a message, I think.
Maybe I should have borrowed that guy's disruptor rifle, I say, patting my leg.
Ugh, disruptor rifle? When did Imperials start using those on their transport ships?
Well, if that had been the Imperials, they might have fared a little better. Did you kill the last one you punched, Skull, or did I have to shoot him?
Skull stands there a second. My initial strike was unsuccessful in ending the life of that Imperial.
Phew. Feel bad for him. You know where this lady is?
Everyone kind of looks like, I can get you some coordinates.
Appreciate it.
And with that, I think we will call this episode of this Edge of the Empire game to a close. The new little line of work, another bounty on the horizon, and a new heading, a new set of coordinates, a industrial spy to track down and kill.
And a small army, apparently.
Something along those lines. Thank you for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed, and we will see you in the next one.